Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News here on News First, where the people come first. You're joining me, Naveksha Gunasekara. Let's start off by taking a look at your headlines.
Sri Lanka's usable foreign reserves are below $50 million, says Finance Minister President's Council Ali Sabri.
ද්‍රවශීලී සංචිතය මේ රටේ මිනිස්සු දැනගන්නට ඕන පාවිච්චි කළ හැකි සංචිතය මිලියන 50ක්වත් නැහැ.
ඔය බිලිපිත්ත පාවිච්චි කරලා අර පැන්ඩෝරා වලේ හොරා කාපු සල්ලි ටික ගෙනාවොත් මේ රටේ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳෙන්නේ නැද්ද?
Police erects a fence obstructing the Satyagraha near the parliamentary complex. Power cuts to be extended to 5 hours if no rainfall. Rice imported from the Indian credit line to be sold at a lower price.
In your top story this afternoon, Ministry of Finance Ali Sabri said it will take more than 2 years to resolve the economic crisis in the country. He made these remarks in Parliament today.
අපි අද කතා කරන්නේ බෙහෙත් හිඟයක් පිළිබඳව විදුලි බලය පැය 3ක් 4ක් කැපීම පිළිබඳව මේක නිසි පරිදි
I don't think we will be able to give a solution even in 2 years. We had $7 billion as reserves. We went ahead and reduced taxes at a time the tax rate should have been increased. I admit that it was a historical mistake. There is no doubt there. Sri Lanka's usable foreign reserves are below $50 million, but we have paid $8 billion in debt. Dollars were issued to the market to hold the exchange rate at 203 rupees. All these measures have led to the rapid decline in the liquidity of reserves. We should have approached the IMF before. There is no doubt there. Rupee should have been depreciated gradually. Tax cuts, artificially holding the dollar and not approaching the IMF had led to the situation that we are in today. We shouldn't have made those decisions. It was a mistake of the government. We have the right to self-criticize us. How will we address these issues? The tourism sector has to be boosted. Inflows from foreign countries must be strengthened. Thirdly, we have to attract more investors. The investors will not come into the country with what's going on here. We also have to regain our market access. We have to restructure our debt and gain access to the market again. These are the key areas we have to work on. There is no other way to address these issues. I'm not an economic expert. I'm willing to do whatever I can. If there are economic experts, you're welcome to take over.
මට පුළුවන් ශක්ති ප්‍රමාණයෙන් මගේ වැඩ ටික කරනවා. ආර්ථික විද්‍යාඥයෝ ඉන්නවනම් එන්න එන්න මේක බාර ගන්න.
ගරු මුදල් අමාත්‍යතුමනි මේ රටේ පුරවැසියෙක් හැටියට කියන්න කනගාටුයි.
Honorable Finance Minister, as a citizen of this country, it is with great disappointment that I say this country has already become a Venezuela or a Lebanon, a bankrupt country. They themselves applaud for bringing in a fair tax policy. They are the same people who clapped when massive tax reliefs were given to the billionaires. What happened? Switch. Modi's Standard and Poor rating agency downgraded us. When questioned about this, Cabral says these are international conspiracies. If you bring back the money from the Pandora fraud, wouldn't that solve some of the problems in this country? Your cabinet prioritized myths, destroyed the farmers' fertilizer, danced havoc. Those who are responsible for this must go home. The government led by the President and Prime Minister must go home. We don't need any posts. If you work the right way towards benefiting the country, we stand with you. It is because of the 20th Amendment that one person was given so much power. One person was able to run the show, which was now put the entire country in a difficult situation. Listen to what the people are saying and leave. Give the chance to the people to elect a new government.
Speaker Mahinda Yapabewardene informed Parliament today that steps would be taken to appoint a suitable person to the post of Deputy Speaker tomorrow following the resignation of Ranjit Siambalapitiya. In more local news, the police have erected a barricade using GI pipes obstructing the Satyagraha carried out by the farmers near the parliamentary complex.
The Satyagraha is staged in Poldo Junction. Due to the parliamentary sessions scheduled for today, the police have constructed this fence by blocking the entry lane to the parliament. Farmers have taken to the streets in protest as they can no longer continue to engage in farming. Due to the lack of fertilizer and pesticides, farmers do not have a harvest to reap during this year's yalla cultivating season.
The selling price of the dollar at licensed commercial banks has risen to 371 rupees today. The buying price of the dollar stands at 356 rupees. The selling price of a British pound, however, is 465 rupees and the buying price stands at 434 rupees. Meanwhile, long queues were seen in filling stations across the country today as well.
Our correspondent noted that filling stations in Horana did not have stocks of diesel today. Long queues were seen at filling stations that issued petrol. Long queues were observed at filling stations in Kandy and its suburbs since this morning. The filling stations did not have diesel, however petrol was issued. Long queues were seen at filling stations in Panathura and its suburbs. Our correspondent said diesel stocks were not available at any of the 10 filling stations in Wadduwa.
අපිට යන්නේ නමකුත් නෑ අපේ දරුවෝ අද ඉස්කෝල වලට යන්න විදියකුත් නෑ අපිට රැකියාවක් කරගන්න විදියක් නෑ අපි අන්ත අසරණ වෙලා තින්නේ දෙන්නේ නෑ දැන් ඊයේ තමයි වුණ බවුසර ටිකක් යන්න පටන් ගත්තේ දෙන්නේ නැත්තේ නෑ.
Many filling stations in Colombo and its suburbs were closed today.
Chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board Engineers Association, Anil Ranjit Induvara, said duration of power cuts imposed in the country will have to be extended for 5 hours if hydropower generation is insufficient to provide electricity for the entire country.
මේක අපිට ලබා ගන්න සිදු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
We have to generate hydropower now from the Samana, Lavava and Lakshapana. If it doesn't rain, there can be more problems in the future. Currently there is a 3-hour and 20-minute power outage, but we may have to extend it to 5 hours.
මේ නිසා පැය 5 දක්වා දික් කිරීමට තමයි සිදු වෙන්නේ. ඒක අපි ජල විදුලියෙන් ලබා ගත්තේ නැත්නම්.
Meanwhile, the water level of the Mausakale reservoir, which ideally should be at 120 feet, is now at 60 feet.
The people's protest at Gota Gogama in front of the President's office at the Goldface Green in Colombo is ongoing. Newsfirst Ahmed Buzo joins us with the latest.
I'm reporting to you opposite the President's office, where the protest staged by the general public continues to go strong. These protesters have been chanting along with acting, dancing and also trying to mimic the wrongdoings of our politicians. Their demands are loud and clear. They are demanding that the incumbent government, including the President himself, resign. Due to this peaceful protest, there does not seem to be a traffic congestion. For the News First team, I'm Ahmed Bosa reporting to you live from opposite the President's office.
Meanwhile, the demonstration staged at the protest site dubbed as Maina Gogama in front of the temple trees continues today as well.
The protest began demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and the government. A citizen has also launched a fast on to death at the protest site.
Victories of the people's struggle were listed out during a media briefing in Colombo today.
Some question as to what the country has gained through these protests. There was a 2/3 majority parliament which they have lost today. The cabinet resigned. The governor of the central bank resigned. An invitation was also extended to form a national government. Some say no to posts as the people will oppose such decisions. Tens of thousands are joining us day by day. There are many achievements.
කිසි කෙනෙක් ඒ ඇමතිකම් බාර ගන්න කැමති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ ඔවුන්ට දුන්නා සංඥාවක් මේ අරගලය තුල ඒ ලබාගත් ජයග්‍රහණ අනන්තයි අප්‍රමාණයි.
Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, who arrived in the island after his visit to the Vatican, requested the government to make room for a fresh start.
සුදෝතම ෆ්‍රැන්සිස් පාපවහන්සේ වෙත අපේ දුක් ගැන විල්ලා අපි ඉදිරිපත් කළා.
We expressed our grievances to Pope Francis. We made a clear request to the leaders of this country when seeking justice over the April 21st attacks. The situation of this country is very dangerous. We hope that the leaders of the country will work for the benefit of the people of this country. The leaders should also fulfill the requests made by the Mahasangha. There is no need for drama. Proper action should be taken. The people are suffering. It is the responsibility of the leaders to provide solutions to the problems faced by the people. It is unfortunate that the law in this country can be amended as per the will of the President or the Prime Minister. The law should be above them. So it's enough. I request the politicians to think of a new beginning.
නව ආරම්භයකට පිවිසෙන්න කල්පනා කරමු කටයුතු කරමු කියලා සියලුම දේශපාලන නායකයන්ගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
The Sri Lanka State Trading Corporation states that another 1,000 metric tons of rice has been imported to the country in the last few days under the Indian credit line.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Trading Corporation, Yoga Pereira, stated that so far 80,000 metric tons of rice has been imported under the Indian credit line for the distribution at concessionary prices. Accordingly, facilities have been provided to distribute these stocks of rice to the public through Satosa and supermarkets. Chairman Yoga Pereira further noted that steps have been taken to sell 1 kilo of Ponni Samba at 175 rupees and 1 kilo of Nadu and white raw rice at 145 rupees. Accordingly, 300,000 metric tons of rice will be imported under the Indian credit line.
The Prime Minister's office in a statement said that legal action will be instituted against the statements made by JVP leader Anurakumara Dissanayake on the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff Yoshitha Rajapaksa. The statement said that comments made by Dissanayake referring to land deed numbers and properties are false and misleading. Former President Maithripala Sirisena responded to the allegations levelled against him by convener of the Voice Against Corruption organisation Wasantha Samarasinghe.
ඊයේ ජවිපේ පවත්වපු ප්‍රවෘත්ති සාකච්ඡාවේදී අනුර දිසානායක මහත්මයා මේ වංචා දූෂණ.
Yesterday during a media briefing staged by the JVP, Anurakumara Dissanayake spoke about corruption in the country. I or we do not have any issues with that. Wasantha Samarasinghe said they have documented evidence with them. He informed that the former President Maithripala Sirisena, his son-in-law and children have received this money. If myself or my children have misused any public assets, I am prepared for any punishment that is due for me. If my name or my children's names are implicated in any piece of paper Wasantha Samarasinghe is producing, I urge him to immediately report it to the CID to commence an investigation.
දාසිවල කොහේ හරි මම හෝ මගේ දරුවන්ගේ නම් තිබෙනවා නම් කොහේ හරි ඊට සම්බන්ධකමක් තියෙනවායි කියලා මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා අදම අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට ඒව බාර දීලා වහාම පරීක්ෂණයක් කරන්න.
That's a wrap of Lunchtime News here on News First, where the people come first. For all these stories and much more, you can log on to our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you for joining.